y'all. Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to this little corner of my garden. Today what I want to talk to you about is the naming conventions of heirloom, hybrid, open-pollinated, and GMO, and what all of that means in terms of you and planting your vegetable and or flower garden. Before I get too deep into the weeds here with all of those different names, as of the time that I'm filming this video, I am 7 subscribers away from 1,000. You guys, that is absolutely amazing to me. Thank you so much for your support, for following along on this gardening journey. I hope that you're all learning something, or you're entertained, or you're finding whatever it is that you need here. I'm so happy to have all of you, but I would like to just kind of reach out and ask for your help to get me that last little bit over the hump to cross that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you could share the video, share my channel, if you so feel inclined, I would greatly appreciate it. I've been working really hard this year to reach the 1,000 subscribers, and it is just me doing all the work. So I do appreciate all of you so far. Just help me get that last little push over the edge. I am thinking about doing a live stream kind of Q&A type thing once I do reach the 1,000. If that's something that you would be interested in, please comment down below. You can go ahead and ask your questions there. Just say yes, please do the live, whatever it is that you feel so inclined to do. Again, I appreciate all of you, but let's go ahead and jump into today's. Full disclosure, I did kind of write out my talking points here, that way I can stay kind of on focus, because if you've watched many of my videos at all, you'll know that I kind of see squirrels a lot and will, you know, my attention kind of goes everywhere. So I did write down everything that I want to talk about today. I did put in quite a bit of research with several sources here, and in for my examples for all of this stuff, I'm talking about tomatoes, but it does apply to any of the vegetables within your garden, your herbs, your flowers, basically anything that you're trying to grow. These same definitions and descriptions are going to apply. So without extra jibber jabber, let's go ahead and kick this off. So the world of vegetable gardening is so much more than what you're going to see in the grocery store, which I'm sure that you've already come to know if you've been gardening any amount of time. When you buy tomatoes at the store, you'll often see cherry tomatoes, probably like your Roma tomato, and then a couple of slicer type varieties. You might see a small section of heirlooms, but they're simply just labeled heirloom tomatoes with no other identifying labels saying this is a purple Cherokee or a green zebra or something like that. But whenever you grow your own tomatoes at home, this opens the door wide open to literally thousands of possibilities. But understanding the labels and the names of them can be a little bit frustrating and a little bit overwhelming. Once you understand the language on the labels, it can help you narrow down that list of thousands to something manageable that hopefully will fit within your garden. If you buy started tomato plants from the store, like you go to your big box store or your local nursery, and you buy the small tomato plants to be transplanted out, most of those are going to be hybrid varieties. Now, hybrid varieties are not inherently bad, and it often happens in nature as pollinators flutter from same plant type to same plant type, and or the wind kind of blows. A good example of the wind causing cross-pollination, i.e. hybridization, would be corn. If you have 2 varieties of corn planted at the exact same time and they start to form their tassels at the same time, the wind blows and you're going to end up with some type of hybrid version of corn. A hybrid is simply a cross between 2 parent varieties. I don't know if that was a bee or a fly, but I'm ducking just in case. And hybrids are often created for certain characteristics like disease resistance or heat tolerance. For tomato growers here in North Texas, many of us try to find varieties that are heat tolerant because it gets very hot here very quickly. If we don't find those varieties that can set fruit within warmer temperatures, we don't get much of a harvest at all. Some of the variegated varieties that you'll see available from seed suppliers are also the product of hybridization. Many of the home gardeners' favorite varieties of tomatoes, like Better Boy, Early Girl, and Celebrity, are all hybrid types, and I am going to try and include pictures of all of these so you can kind of see them. All three of those are just typical red round tomato types. There are hybrids that come in many other colors and many other shapes and sizes. You can save seeds from hybrid varieties, but plants grown from these seeds may not have the same characteristics as the parent. The genetics of the hybrid varieties have not been stabilized yet, where you can save seeds and the new plants grown from those seeds are true to type to their parent types. So if you're wanting to have true to type every single time you plant, you're going to have to use new seeds every time. Some plant nurseries are starting to offer more heirlooms as starter plants, and many reputable seed sources offer heirloom seeds. An heirloom variety is simply a variety that has been grown for over 40 years without any sort of crossbreeding. If you save seeds from an heirloom, the plants from those seeds will be identical to their parent. Think of these varieties as those that have been handed down, planted, cultivated, and handed down again over multiple generations. Tomatoes your grandparents or great-grandparents grew and cared for during World War II, and you continue to grow in your own garden today, would be considered heirlooms. These are often the varieties with a backstory and a history. Popular heirloom tomatoes include Cherokee Purple, Brandywine, and Dr. Weishi's Yellow. Again, I'm going to try to include pictures of these, and if I butchered the pronunciation of Weishi's, I do apologize. I've seen it pronounced so many different ways, I don't know the correct way. Heirlooms are available in almost every color of the rainbow and can add visual interest to your garden. Now, the third term, open-pollinated, typically means the flowers are pollinated by whatever natural means, meaning the wind, bees, butterflies, ants. If you take two, like if you're trying to pollinate squash, you take those two and pollinate them together. That would still be open-pollinated, and the resulting seeds are still true to the parents. So if you save seeds from open-pollinated varieties, the resulting plants will be identical to their parentage as long as cross-pollination didn't occur. Now, with tomatoes, cross-pollination isn't always a super heavy concern because they are self-pollinating, but for things like squash and cucumbers and melons, where it does require the male and the female flowers to kind of come together in some way, cross-pollination is possible. So you might end up with like a funky squash variety within those the seeds if you plant them out the next generation. All heirloom varieties are open-pollinated, but not all open-pollinated varieties are heirlooms yet. If a hybrid variety becomes stabilized through continued breeding, it becomes open-pollinated. Many tomato varieties from Brad Gates at Wild Boar Farms are actually open-pollinated varieties because he has spent several years creating a stable line for certain tomatoes. So like think of the Atomic Grape. I'm trying to think of many of he has a ton of different tomatoes that he has been breeding over several years, and they're all like really cool, variegated, multicolored, have different flavor profiles. Those are all going to be open-pollinated, so you can save seeds and plant the next generation, and it will have the same characteristics as those original seeds. Now we get into the GMO conversation of this video. This is a bit of a hot topic, and I certainly have my opinions on the matter, but I'm going to do my best to not push my opinion on you guys, because I want you to kind of figure out what is best for you. So this is what I'm going to say in this part is strictly from me doing research on the matter and not me inserting how I feel about things. So I just wanted to make that clear up front. GMO plants are typically created mechanically by inserting the genes from one plant into the genetic makeup of another. These are not your typical cross-pollination by way of nature. Human interference is required to create a GMO plant. Sometimes GMO plants are created for noble reasons like better crop production, more disease resistance, and higher bug resistance. The most common reason GMO crops are created, however, is for pesticide resistance, meaning crops can handle chemical pesticides being sprayed without harming the plant. Now, GMO crops are still relatively new. They've only been, they've only been around for about 20 years or so. So it is not yet known if there are any health side effects to them. There is currently, as of the time that I researched the subject, only one GMO seed available to the home gardener. It is for a purple tomato that has some snap flower genetics to boost the amount of anthocyanins in the fruit. While the thought of having a spectacularly vivid purple tomato may sound intriguing, there are legal issues that could arise from growing this tomato. It is possible for these GMO tomatoes to cross-pollinate with open-pollinated varieties without human intervention even. It could happen if the wind blows the wrong way. So the seeds you save from your open-pollinated variety would contain GMO genetics, making it illegal to sell the seeds or fruits from those resulting plants. GMO seeds are patented, so they are legally protected from unauthorized sale, even if you had no idea. There was a case that occurred in Canada where Monsanto had a variety of corn growing, and then a farmer 5 miles away was growing his corn, and they cross-pollinated, and the farmer sold the corn unknowingly that it had cross-pollinated with the Monsanto corn, and Monsanto took him to court and won. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind if you're trying to determine, do I really want to grow these really cool purple tomatoes? If you plan to start your garden from seed, you can purchase seeds from companies that stand by the Safe Seed Pledge, which states that the businesses who sign the pledge will not knowingly buy, sell, or trade genetically engineered seeds or plants. Some businesses that have signed the Safe Seed Pledge include Johnny Selected Seeds, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, Botanical Interests, In My Gardener, Harris Seeds, and Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. Companies like Burpee and Haas Tools state on their website that the seeds are tested and non-GMO, but as far as I know, they have not signed that official Safe Seed Pledge. This is not an all-inclusive list of companies, just a few that I have purchased from with success. Regardless of your garden style, whether you grow from seeds or purchase started plants, the options are almost endless. Hopefully knowing the difference between heirloom, hybrid, open-pollinated, and GMO can help you put your dollars towards plants that meet your specific garden goals and ease your mind. My garden has a combination of heirloom, hybrid, and open-pollinated. I am going to be making a gradual change to more hybrid varieties, just because I can look for those types that grow better in my specific area, because gardening here can be very, very tricky with the temperatures that we get here. But heirloom definitely offers more variety, more diversity. You can create really cool ecosystems within your own space using like native heirlooms and things like that. But again, that choice is completely up to you, what you want to do in your garden, how you want to grow your vegetables, your flowers, your herbs, whatever it is that you're doing. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about each of those types. That way you can go into your garden making informed decisions. But that's all that I have for you guys today. If you did like this video and you want to see more hopefully educational content, please like, subscribe, do all those great YouTube things. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for helping me get that push to 1,000 subscribers. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye. Bye.